Alright, hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessie and today I'm doing a reading vlog where I read 3 Libby books that are romance books and also have yellow covers. I'm not quite sure how I landed on those requirements, but basically this week I was supposed to be doing a Creek Retelling readathon or reading vlog, but I had quite a bit of trouble getting into Ariadne, so I DNF'd it. I will probably restart that reading vlog once I have the audiobook. And I think I have an 8-week hold before there's a chance I'll get to read it. My hold on Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert came through the other day. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start this vlog. And I'm really excited. I can't remember the name of the other 2 books, but I decided that I wanted there to be a little bit of a theme. And just yellow books that were romance books seemed like a good theme. All the other yellow books on my shelf I have already read, besides one, but I still need to read the second book for that. So this will be all Libby books. Anyways, though, I am starting this vlog with Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and this follows Dani. She is the middle sister of the Talia Hibbert Brown Sisters series, and it takes place sometime after Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Dani is asking for a sign. Her life is like good, but also there's kind of a lot going on. She's working in a college. I can't remember exactly what her job is. I think she's like a professor. And then she meets this guy, Zafir, who is, I think, part of the security team at the school. And Dani, like, for the most part, things are going well, but she knows she wants, like, some form of friends with benefits. And then somehow something happens. There's, like, a fire drill gone wrong, and Zafir saves Dani from the fire drill gone wrong. Videos of them end up online, and people start kind of already shipping them, even though they're not together. And Zafir apparently has, like, this charity, and so they kind of use the fake dating trope to work together to, I guess, get some publicity for his charity, and along the way, they develop feelings. I read the prologue a couple days ago, and I kept putting off starting this vlog, and I didn't want to keep reading until after I started this vlog, but the prologue was really nice. It's a couple years later. There's been a recent death in the family, and Dani, and I don't know if it's her roommate or just her friend, perform like a little ritual, and Dani asked for a sign of, I guess, like a new partner for her to be friends with benefits with, right? And I think you kind of see the sign, like, you know, at the end of the prologue, but I'm excited. It definitely, like, got me really excited to keep reading the book. And I will probably do this what I normally do, where I just update you about every 30%. All right, hey, I am about a third of the way through Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So far, pretty much everything's set up and the premise has happened. There's been like the escape drill, evacuation drill in the building Dani and Zafir both work in. Dani and Zafir have agreed to fake a date. At this point, you know that both of them have sometime in the past few years suffered major losses of family members. I believe Zafir's seems to be further in the past than Dani's. It doesn't seem they've talked about too much yet. And you also know that Zafir has kind of struggled with anxiety quite a bit in the past after losing his, like, some family members. I'm really interested in it. I'm having a lot of fun. So far, I think I'm enjoying Dani Brown's book a little bit better than Chloe's. There's nothing really wrong with Chloe's. I just think I like the university setting of Dani's book a little bit more. And then I think the prologue really caught my attention a little bit more in Dani's book than it did in Chloe's. Like, you know, just the kind of witchy setup. And then, you know, by the end of the prologue that Dani's gotten the sign she asked for and she just overlooks it completely. And so, you know, the universe or whatever just throws the sign in her face by the end of like chapter 1 or 2 or something. But I'm having a lot of fun with this so far. And Zafir is definitely a little bit romantic. He ultimately wants to find true love and have a happy relationship. And then Dani, for whatever reason, and you can kind of tell the reason, so based off reading it so far, she doesn't really believe she's a good match for relationships. And so that's kind of one struggle that they're both currently having internally. Dani very much wants their fake dating to just be fake dating with maybe like a little bit of sleeping together on the side, whereas Zafir, he is currently struggling with the fact that, you know, he's really interested in Dani, but at the same time, he also really wants to be in love. And so there's just kind of a lot going on with them like that, but I'm having a very good time. I'm hoping to read another third of the book tonight. Every time I sit down to read it, I kind of, you know, read quite a bit at a time. I've read most of this book in about 2 sittings, not including the night where I started the prologue, and so I'm really enjoying it. And I just have a few more things to do today before I get a chance, I think, to really sit down and read again. Alright, you may be able to hear Chris's phone in the background. He always has it really loud at night. I'm sorry if you can hear it. But anyways, I am now 2/3 of the way through Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and I'm having such a good time with this book. Part of me really wants to keep reading even though it's like 10:30 at night and finish it tonight. But the other part of me knows that I will be home alone with the 2-year-old all day tomorrow, and that would not be the smart decision for me to make. So I will most likely be done reading for tonight now. But I'm definitely having a really good time. Dani and Zaf have made more progress in their friends with benefits relationship. They both are definitely feeling things that they promised they're not going to feel, or Dani said she just can't, and Zaf promised he wouldn't. And you know, that's starting to become more and more of an issue as the book progresses. I can definitely feel it getting close to the, I guess, third act breakup. That will be coming up at any point now, I'm sure. And another thing I'm interested in is like, I'm really interested in like how Zaf is doing with his anxiety and stuff. He's made some big jumps, even like he's obviously been managing it for a pretty good time, given that he, you know, runs a nonprofit organization that kind of helps young men and like boys in school and stuff kind of learn how to manage their mental health without feeling like less of a man because of it. Like, you know, looking at toxic masculinity and like kind of like showing boys that, you know, it's not, you're not less of a man if you feel your emotions and you learn how to manage them and stuff. And so I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm having a really good time. I'm interested to see like how and when Dani will realize, you know, that things with Zaf should ultimately work out, because I feel like everything's going to come down to her ultimately, just because, you know, she's the one who has an aversion to relationships. And like throughout the book you learn that she kind of has a decent reason to, but it's definitely a really good book, and I will hopefully be finishing it tomorrow. Alright, so I finished Dani Brown this morning, and I loved it. I think Dani is currently my favorite of the Brown sisters, which, to be fair, I still haven't read Eve's book, but I'm not quite sure when I'm going to get to Eve's book, because I have quite a few books on hold on Libby, and I'm not quite sure, or I'm actually pretty sure that I am running out of room to put books on hold. So it'll be a little bit before I ever get to Eve's book. But so far, I really enjoyed Dani's. I really liked, you know, Dani's so career-oriented, and I like how driven she was with her career. And I also liked her learning, you know, that she can have a career and a relationship. She just has to find the right person who makes her want both, I guess. I don't know quite how to word that. But ultimately, I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with the book. I'm very glad that, you know, Zafir was able to overcome some of his own worries that he had about, you know, actually connecting his past to tackle it in his organization, and, you know, because he was worried about just some stuff that had happened. And just, it was a really good book. It was really cute. It was really sweet. I was very happy with the ending. I liked, you know, that a different character did the grand gesture than who would normally might have done it. And then I liked the way it was handled. I also liked that by the end of the book, there was like, I guess in the epilogue, almost a second grand gesture, even though I guess it technically wasn't a grand gesture. But it was a good book. I had a lot of fun with it. I have 2 books up next. I'm not sure which I'll be starting yet. And I'm actually going to take a quick break from this vlog to read a book on my actual July TBR, just to see how that goes. But the next 2 books, I think I'm going to do an Instagram poll whenever I get close to finishing, like, the non-vloggy book. But yeah, that's about it for now. I think Rowan's waking up with the monitor. But anyways, that's it for now, and I will talk to you again whenever I've decided what book I'll read next. Alright, hey, so I read, I think, the second third of First Comes Like last night, and I never really got around to updating you, and this morning we left the house early, and so I didn't get time to update you this morning, and then I've just been busy all day. But I did read up to the second half of First Comes Like last night, and I'm liking it. I would say that I'm not liking it quite as much as I was enjoying The Right Swipe and Girl Gone Viral at this point in their respective books, but I don't mind it. I'm having fun and it's cute. It's just not quite as fun, or I'm not enjoying it just quite as much as the first 2 books in the series. Gia and Dave are really cute together so far, though. I really am enjoying seeing how they progress. There was actually a big change in their relationship recently. This might be a potential spoiler, but they went from, you know, being fake dating to now they're really engaged for some reason or another. There's a lot going on in their families. Both of them have very, like, don't want to necessarily say overbearing families, but their families are, you know, very involved in their business and their love life and, you know, what's going on. Because I guess for both their families, that affects their families' reputations. And so it's interesting to see. Anyways, I think we are planning on going to see Chris's family this weekend, and before we do that, I need to get my car's oil changed. So tomorrow, my sister and I and Rowan are going to go to my dad's house, and he's going to change our oil, Rowan's gonna get to look at the cows. Moo-moos are his favorite things right now. Also today I picked, and this isn't really related to this vlog either, but I picked up a copy of The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, and I'm excited to get to this. This will not be happening in this vlog, but I'm excited. Anyways though, there's not really much going on as far as reading goes at the moment. This book, I really don't have a lot to say about at the moment. It's not bad by any means, it's just not quite living up to the expectations set by the first 2 books in the series. And so I think I'm just gonna need to finish it, and I'll let you know how it's going. And I think I'm gonna try to finish the audiobook while I'm cleaning. I'm gonna try to get my house cleaned. Like, I need to do the bathroom. That's the next thing that I'd be doing tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get that done tonight, and I normally do my mopping on Fridays. I'm gonna try to get that done tonight as well. That way tomorrow all I have to do is pack. If I don't get that done tonight, I don't think I'm going to, because I need like 2 loads of laundry. So yeah, anyways though, I will talk to you after I finish this book. All right, hey, so I finished First Comes Like a couple hours ago, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. I ended up rating it 3 stars on both Goodreads and Storygraph. I really liked, how different they were from the other books, and since I felt like, Gia and Dave's characters were a little bit more innocent and, like, I guess not as adulty as, the first 2 books were. At the same time, as the story actually went on, I wasn't as into it as I would have liked to have been. I also enjoyed Dave's niece, Luna. I enjoyed her being included in the story. I think lately I've been into, like, the idea of, like, either kids, like, characters' kids, or a character's, like, family member who is a child or seen as a child to them included in the stories. Like, I really enjoyed the niece and Dani Brown, which I don't think she had as much, page time as Luna does in First Comes Like, but I enjoyed both their characters. I kind of enjoyed just having them add to the story. I enjoyed the family aspect. And I think once I got more into the story, as I got a little further into the book, towards the end, I was a little stressed by, how on top of things and how not quite controlling, but almost controlling that Dave's and Gia's families were in the middle of the book whenever they find out some big news. Ultimately, I actually did enjoy them once I got to see their characters, like, on the page more. It was less that they were overwhelming. It was obvious they cared, right? But just in general, this book, the pacing felt kind of weird, because they go from, Gia being spurned and finding out that she was catfished to, like, and then being this fake dating thing, and that's fine, but then all of a sudden they're engaged, and possible spoiler, then all of a sudden they're married, and then, like, the 3rd act breakup doesn't happen till literally 96%. The pacing just kind of felt weird to me. I feel like it wasn't bad by any means, it just wasn't it for me, and I kind of hate saying that, because, like, I want to be able to tell you exactly what it is, but I can't quite figure out what it is. Because I enjoyed Dave and Gia's characters both individually. I thought they were cute together. I feel like things were rushed a little bit, and I'm not a fan of how they were rushed. I'm not really sure that I like where and how the conflict was handled in the book, as in where and what percentage of the book it was handled. I felt like it was handled very late in the book, and that kind of just felt weird to me. But it wasn't bad by any means. It was definitely, like, a good book, just not great. Not one that I could see myself revisiting over and over again. Like, I could definitely see myself, eventually rereading Rhiannon's and Katrina's books, but I don't know if I would feel that same level of just needing to reread Gia's book, if that makes sense. I did enjoy them. I didn't love it, but I did enjoy them. The next book that I will be starting, though, in this vlog, sometime, probably not today or tomorrow, because it's already almost midnight on Thursday night, and we're going out of town tomorrow evening, so I don't want to start the book tomorrow, give you an update, and then if we go to, I read while we're gone, I either have to remember, like, what I thought, or I have to, like, give, I guess, like, weird updates, or, like, I like giving updates about every 33%, just because it kind of makes sure that I'm giving approximately equal time to each book, I guess. The next book I'm starting is Meet Cute by Helena Hunting, and I just read the synopsis a little bit ago because I had to remind myself what it was about, but it's about these 2 characters. The girl, she is in law school, and on her first day of law school, she bumps into this guy who's also in law school, but he also just happens to have been an actor that she had a crush on at one point in her life. And they hit it off, they're friends, everything's going great. So there's some type of betrayal. I kind of feel like it's going to be some type of miscommunication trope. I could be wrong, it could be a literal betrayal, but I feel like it's probably some miscommunication. And then 8 years later, he comes to her and, like, is like, needing help with something to do with custody of his 13-year-old sister. I will say, going into this book, one thing I'm not sure for me I like is there being, like, if the time jump is handled well. I've only just recently discovered that I don't know how I feel about time jumps when they're handled anywhere but in the epilogue. I don't mind, like, you know, a 2+ year time jump at the epilogue of a book, but I'm not sure how I feel about an 8-year time jump, presumably somewhere, you know, in the first quarter of the book or in the middle of the book. I may end up liking it, may be fine, but I'm not sure how I feel about time jumps yet. Alright, hey, it has been quite a few days since I last updated this particular vlog, and I'm actually working on another vlog at the same time, which I don't typically do, but just the way this fell, I'm doing two at the same time, so I'm trying to make sure I don't get them confused. But I just started my last Yellow Romance Libby book today, and I started the audiobook for Meet Cute by Helena Hunting, and I'm really enjoying it so far. This book follows two lawyers who met in law school. One, her name is Kaylin, and Dax, he was apparently like a child star that Kaylin had a huge crush on. They meet, she kind of fangirls over him a little bit. They end up being, like, I guess, almost friends in law school. They have a lot of banter. They seem to work well together, and then apparently, supposedly, Dax somehow betrays Kaylin, and it's 5 years later. Something's happened, and Dax is getting custody of his little sister, or he's trying to keep custody because someone else has decided that he may not be a good fit, even though apparently his parents thought he was a good fit at the time they updated their will. I'm enjoying Kaylin and Dax and their banter and, like, how they speak to each other. I will say that I think that the conflict, because we've already heard from Kaylin's point of view what went wrong, and I feel like it's gonna end up being like a miscommunication thing. And I'm hoping that it's not, but I feel like it's probably gonna be, just based on what Kaylin, I guess, like, you know, in a phone call to her friend said it was. Dax appears to be, like, you know, a good big brother. And one thing I don't quite understand is, like, why his aunt has a problem with, you know, Dax, who is a 30-year-old lawyer, being, you know, the, like, being the guardian. Because he has a stable job, good income, and he is apparently responsible enough to hold down this job. I feel like lawyers, as far as I know, that's a job you need to be fairly responsible for. The work-life balance may not be perfect. That's something that he may have to adjust, but it's one of those things that he's never had to adjust before at this point in the book that we know of. And so, you know, like, he hasn't even really been given a chance, and then all of a sudden his aunt wants custody. So, like, the actual, like, plot of the book is really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. Kaylin is also, her boss really wants her to convince Dax to come be a lawyer at where they work. And so, you know, Kaylin, she gets a few things out of that if it happens. And one of those things is she wants to take more pro bono cases, and a lot of the cases she wants to take. And I don't know how, like, important this is to the plot, really, but some of those things that kind of caught my attention is that she wants to take on a lot more cases where, you know, I guess she will help kids who are in foster care get adopted. It sounds like Kaylin may have had something similar happen in her childhood. The full thing hasn't been explained yet. Anyways, that's really all I have to update for now. I've been listening to the audiobook while I clean because we are getting ready to go to Rowan's palate appointment tomorrow in Houston. Rowan is born with a cleft palate. He had a surgery to repair it last summer, and now I think he just has yearly checkups every year, unless something needs to be changed. I guess, like, if, you know, as he grows, they notice that his speech is affected because maybe they could have done something better, if that makes sense. But we have to drive to Houston at 5:30 tomorrow morning, so I'm trying to get the house clean and get, like, just the diaper bag packed tonight, get the car packed tonight. That's really all that's going on today. I'm probably gonna listen to the audiobook some more while I vacuum and mop the bedrooms. I've already done the living room and dining area, and then I'll be done with my cleaning checklist for today. Anyways, I'll check in with you once I hit the 2/3 mark. Alright, there may be a little bit more background noise than I would like. Rowan is up playing in his room. His bedroom door is open, and his room is, like, right over there. But I'm now about 2/3 of the way through Meet Cute by Helena Hunting, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Like, I like the idea of Dax and Kaylin together. I think they're a cute couple. I think their background together, their history together is interesting, or their history, like, with each other is interesting. But I think one thing I'm kind of having an issue with, and that's, like, kind of making me, like, stress about this book, is that there's kind of almost like a conflict of interest because, you know, Kaylin is supposed to be, like, this, like, you know, like, complete third-party person, mediator. She's not a mediator, but, like, you know, just this complete third-party person between Dax and his aunt, who has Emmy's best interest at heart, but at the same time, she is definitely, you know, falling for Dax. She definitely has feelings for him. And so, like, ethically, I'm just like, that seems like a mess. What if, you know, this, which I know, like, this is a romance book, so ultimately everything's probably going to be fine. It'll be a big surprise if it's not fine. But, like, at the same time in my mind, I'm like, she could totally, like, make him completely lose custody, which would be his fault, too. Listen. I mean, it'd be his fault, too. They'd both be at fault, like, you know, if their relationship made, you know, Dax lose custody of Emmy. And based off what I know about the aunt, or at least how she's presenting herself or being presented in the book so far, you know, Dax seems like the best choice for where Emmy lives. But at the same time, just, I'm afraid, you know, like in the book, that's kind of bugging me and like stressing me out. Yeah, that's just one thing that's kind of bugging me and stressing me out about the book. And this other thing that I feel like is going to turn into like this big blow up is that Kaylin is going to reap a lot of benefits by working with Dax that he doesn't know about yet. Like, if there's a lot of benefits she will get if she can convince him to come over to her firm. And just, I'm afraid that's gonna, which I feel like it will. I feel like that will probably be the third act conflict. That'll probably blow up in their faces. I'm having fun, but also this book is stressing me out in a way that the first two didn't. Just in the fact that, you know, like, I guess the custody issue is kind of stressing me out because, you know, like, what if this author decides to just, like, I know this is supposed to be a romance, but, we're gonna like make this part a little unhappy. So like I'm hoping that doesn't happen, that, you know, Dax will keep custody of Emmy and then Kaylin and Dax will still end up together. And like I said, once again, this is a romance, so that is the most likely ending, but still it's just a little worrisome. So I just finished Meet Cute by Helena Hunting, and I think I'm going to rate it 5 stars because I really enjoyed the book. I couldn't put it down. I really enjoyed other plot points besides just the romance, but at the same time, I really enjoyed the romance as well. I really just liked the book. I'm starting to think I like family-based romances. All 3 of the books that I have read for this vlog have included, you know, the main couple, and then someone either has custody of or has a close family member who, like, is a child, like a teenager child that they are having to kind of, live with and stuff. I guess Dani Brown doesn't meet that quite as much as First Comes Like or Meet Cute does, but like they still, like, it still has, you know, Zephyr's niece who, like, she doesn't play as big of a role in the story as Dev's niece, Dax's little sister in Meet Cute. But I think I'm liking the element in books right now, so maybe. But I actually just really enjoyed Meet Cute, and it was just really cute. The ending of the book was really good. I liked that the conflict was like closer to the 75 to 80% mark. Like that's where the third act conflict like started. And then there was like the break period. And I felt like I liked the way it was paced. They got back together in a decent amount of time. I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed, you know, the way they were able to prove and help Dax keep company or keep custody of his little sister. I really enjoyed that. Just like I said, it was really cute. I had a lot of fun with the book, and I'm really glad I read it. Overall, I would say this has actually been a pretty good reading vlog. The only book I was iffy about was First Comes Like, and it wasn't as good. It just didn't hold up to me compared to the first 2 books in the series it's in. But I loved Dani Brown, and I loved Meet Cute. And I did enjoy First Comes Like, even if it didn't quite meet my expectations. But anyways, I really think that's all because I don't really know what to say about the end of Meet Cute without spoiling it. Just because, you know, the end of the book, it's slightly predictable in the sense that it's, you know, a romance that should have a happily ever after, and it does. And just, I don't want to talk about the conflict too much. And I don't want to, like, you know, talk about how they were able to, you know, keep Dax's custody because that might spoil it. Just overall, it was a really good book and I really enjoyed it and I had a really good time with it. I listened to it all today. The audiobook was well narrated. I liked that it switched POVs. I really prefer romances that have, like, you know, the both characters as POVs. Anyways, though, that's really all I have for today, and thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know if you've read any of these books, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.